and done well. And Indu, you also, so very good Indu, so good performance. So first place are secured by both the Kavishri and Vishwanamakeshwaran, and second place goes to Indu. Who else? Another one Indu. Okay, and I think only one person is in second position. Okay, fine. So very good. Okay, so yaar eludara, you just inform to the person Umesh and who is Vigneshwaran, Sri Vigneshwaran. Okay, fine. So and today evening we have another test, another test. Okay, another one test today evening. After the session, okay, today evening we have session. I hope you all aware about that. Today evening we have a guest session. Guys, do you aware about that or not?
Sir?
Today evening we have a guest session. Do you know about that or not? Okay, let me share you the. Oh, this is the poster. Okay, so today evening around today is 5/8/2021. So Thursday evening 6 to 7 we have a session with Ms. P. Gayatri Devi, Academic Director, Impulse Coaching Institute, Coimbatore. Okay. So the theme is why the life of an IAS and or IPS officer starts at the school. Okay. So this is the program today. We are conducting. Okay, Commerce Department we are conducting. So I want everyone. Okay, I want everyone to vote. 100% attendance must be required. Got it? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I will share you the link also. So I will share you the link. So anyhow, let me ask Jan Pradeep sir once before sharing. If he okay give permissions for us, then we can share. I will share you. Okay. Then I want you all to attend that session. So we are discussing human capital formation. So that is chapter 5. Okay, problems of human capital we have discussed. Then the government interference also we have discussed right yesterday. Need for government intervention. So, for example, government often they will inspect. So, why? Because of water, because of quality, and whether everyone is so because of quality. And second thing is everyone is getting a proper what health and education. Then whether to avoid monopoly. Okay, so to avoid monopolism, what happened? Government often will interfere in the form of what as a governing body. So school levels totally under the control of NCRT, that is the central government. It comes under central government education ministry. Then UGC, it is totally governing all the arts and science college. Okay, and the AICT is and totally controls all the engineering colleges. Then IMCR, sorry, ICMR, that is Indian Medical Council for Medical Researches. These are all the central government bodies, governing body. Those who have they will often inspect, often do what auditing, inspections, checking to whether they are following a proper quality education system or not. Okay, fine. So basic education, healthcare, fundamental right for every citizenships. So what do you mean by that here? So, in a developing country like India, a large section of population lives below the poverty line and are unable to afford basic education and healthcare facilities. Okay. So, India, we know we have 134 crore people in our country, and maximum people lives below the poverty line. Okay, so maximum people they are not able to afford what education and health. So what happened? Moreover, a substantial section of our people cannot afford to reach superior specialty, healthcare, and higher education. Okay, so for furthermore, when basic education and healthcare is considered as a right of citizen, then it is essential that government should provide education and health service free of cost for the deserving citizens and those who from a socially oppressed classes. Okay, what do you mean by that? So, education and health, என்ன பண்ணணும் both the things are very important factor for a human capital formation. அப்ப என்ன பண்றாங்க? So the government should give free of cost. That's why you can see in government school they are and the people those who are really very poor they are getting what scholarships and they need not to pay much fee, just 100 or 200 rupees they have to pay the fee. And midday meal, in the midday meal scheme they are providing free food also. So midday meal scheme they are providing free food with an egg. And also in government hospitals like Kalaignar Kaappeedu Thittam, Amma Kaappeedu Thittam, and through joining hands with through joint venture with various private hospitals, so these people they can able to get free healthcare benefits. Got my point? So fine. The next point what we are able to discuss is both union and state government have been raising expenditure in education sector over the years in order to fulfill the objective of attaining 100% literacy and health facilities. That's why what happen if it is child labor, if anyone what a depute any person below 18 or below 14 இங்க வந்து என்னது they will mention இங்கு குழந்தை தொழிலாளர்கள் இல்லை சொல்லிட்டு they will mention a board warning board. So if they depute any child labor they will be their license will be get cancelled and they will be send them to prison. So that's why the this much what steps were taken by our Indian government to develop the poor people's lifestyle by bringing up their education health facilities. So they are only the ultimate motive of both union and central government is to provide 100% literacy rate. So now let's back to the point educational sector in India. Okay. So we have within under education sector only our schools like schools, colleges, research center, everyone is coming. So the expenditure by the government on education is expressed in two ways. First one is as a percentage of total government expenditure as a percentage of gross domestic product. Okay, so we can able to express express the expenditure. Our government they will do expenditures or expenses whatever they are doing for educational purpose that can be expressed in two way. One is expenditure, government expenditure. Do you remember calculation of national income can be done through three method: value added method, income method, expenditure method. So we can able to calculate through the government expenditure, and second one is through GDP. Okay, so now fine. So for we can our education sector in debt expenditure we'll discuss. It indicates the importance of education in the scheme of things before government. During 1952 to 2014, it increased from 7.92 percentage to 15.7 percentage. Okay. So that means what happened? The expenditure made by our government for education sector increases. So compared to previous year, I think in initial days, like during the time of independence, only 7.92 percentage they were what expenditures. Now what happened? 15.7 And also, what about GDP? So, the proportion of income spent on development of education in the country during 1952 to 2014, it is increased from 0.64 to 4.13. Okay, so what it indicates both the aspects like government expenditure and GDP. It indicates that our government is doing expenditure a lot, okay, on education. So that's why you can see the government expenditure on the year 1952 to 2014. It increases 7 point percentage to 15 point percentage, and GDP 0.64 to 4.13 percentage. So important points about government expenditure. What are the important points? Guys, are you all there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Still how many of them had to join? Pravi irkara. Pravi, Abhishek, Kiruvanidhi.
Sir, myself Abhishek.
எங்க இருக்கீங்க அபிஷேக்? பைக்ல டிராவல் ஆகுற மாதிரி தெரியுது.
No, sir.
அன்மியூட் பண்ணுங்க பாப்போம். So what about Darshan Kumar, Kiruvanidhi? Call
Sir.
Yogesh. Yogesh எப்படியாவது வரவீங்க எனக்கு. I want that fellow to be here. And
யோகேஷ் கால்
எடுக்க மாட்டேங்கிறான்.
ஆமா
And Vigneshwaran, call Sudarshan. Vignesh,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
ask that fellow to join immediately. Then Piravi,
Yes, sir.
ask Darshan Kumar. Ask Darshan Kumar to join immediately.
Yes, sir.
Okay, guys, let us continue then. So important points about government expenditure. For government spends more on elementary school. Okay. So elementary education, primary school education takes a major share of total expenditure. Share of higher or tertiary education institution of higher learning like colleges, polytechnics and universities is the least. Okay. So என்ன பண்றாங்க government, they spend more on elementary. So which up to which grade we will call it as elementary school? Anyone? Guys? Kavishri Indu.
Sir,
Up to which standard we will call it as elementary school?
up to grade 5.
Up to grade 5 we will call it as elementary. After that 5 to 10
Higher secondary.
higher secondary. Okay, fine. So what happened here? The government spends more compared to tertiary sector. Tertiary means what it is like colleges, polytechnic and universities. They will spend more money on elementary education. Why? Because the basic, at least the government decided to give what they are taking much effort to give 100% basics, okay, to the power citizen of our country. And third important point is what expenditure on tertiary education is also important. So what is tertiary education system? Okay, that is what colleges like engineering colleges, arts colleges. Okay, and on an average, government spend less on tertiary education. However, expenditure per student in tertiary education is higher than the elementary school education. But it does not mean that financial sources should be transferred from tertiary to elementary education. As we expand school education, we need more teachers who are trained in the higher education institutions. So expenditure on all level of education should be increased. Okay, என்ன சொல்றாங்க? First, what are the 3 points government did in the sense they spend more on elementary school compared to tertiary education sector. And also the expenditure on tertiary education means what? It is what the government should they are so spending, for example, doing a BE or else BCom. So doing BE or BCom is more what expensive courses than this elementary school. Okay. யாரும் வரலையா? Ravi and Vigneshwaran.
Sir, Sudarshan not reachable, sir.
சார் எடுக்கவே இல்லை சார் தர்ஷன்குமார்.
Okay. So elementary school compared to school, this college fees will be very high. So doing expenses on colleges are very expensive one. So difference in educational opportunities across states. In 2014-15, the per capita education expenditure differs considerably across states from as high as. Okay, so you can see the difference in educational opportunities across the states. In 2014-15, the per capita education expenditure differ considerably across states from high as 34,651 in Himachal Pradesh and low as 4,088 in Bihar. This leads to difference in education opportunities near attainment across states. Okay, so different states they will spread different what fee structures. So across all over India in 2014-15, the expenditures were done for a person for higher education is 34,651 rupees in Himachal. The same thing in Bihar is 4,088. So difference in education opportunities across states. Okay, so fine. So inadequate expenditure on education. The expenditure on education is very less as compared to desired level of education expenditure recommended by the various commission. More than 40 years ago, the education commission, that is 1964 to 66, recommended at least 6% of GDP should spend on education. However, the current level expenditure is low, a little over 4%, which is quite inadequate. Okay, for what happened? The country can be a developed country only based upon what its educational system. So have you all heard about educational system of what this Israel? So educational system of Israel, Europe, and most of the Western countries are very high. Okay, so they will spend more on education. You can see Cuba. Cuba is a country which locates near about the South African continent, and it was ruled by Fidel Castro for so many over 5 decades, more than 50 years. But all the 50 years, he made education compulsory to all his people, and he used to spend a lot on education. But what about other countries? They will spend less on education, and they will They will spend more on army and the equipments and safety equipments. Then develop a construction of. In India, you can see Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel statue for 3,000 crore and so many statues. Fine. So fine. So let us back to the topic. Then provision of free and compulsory education. Are you all there? Are you all following me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So next one is the Tabas Majmudar Committee appointed by Indian government in 1998 estimated an expenditure of around 1.37 lakh crore over 10 years. Okay. So what happened? This it's a committee. Okay. Tabas Majumandar. So they have decided to give what the appointed by Indian government in 1998 estimated expenditure around. So their estimated expenditure around what 1,37,000, so 1.37 lakh crore over 10 years between 98 to 99, between 98 to 99 and 6 to 7 to bring all Indian children in the age group of 6 to 14 are under the purview of school education. In 2009, Government of India enacted the Right of Education Act to make free education and a fundamental right of all children in the group of 6 to 14 years. Okay, the Government of India has to start levying 2% education cess on all the union taxes. The revenues from education cess has been earned marked for spending on elementary schools. In addition to this amount, the government sanctioned a large outlay for the promotion of higher education and new school schemes for students to pursue highest promotions. So what happens? The government என்ன பண்ணிருக்காங்க? They have main focus to improve they made compulsory education to all. So what happened? Around 1.37 lakh crore people, around 10 decades, they got educated, and especially the age group 6 to 14, it's compulsory for them. Okay, it's compulsory for them. Even in 2009, the government of India enacted the Right to Education Act to make few education a fundamental right of all children in the age of 6 to 14. Okay, so in the age of 6 to 14, எல்லா குழந்தைகளும் they must study, they must have some qualifications சொல்லிட்டு என்ன பண்ணிருக்காங்க, government forced. Are you all there, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Sir.
Vishwa, இருக்கீங்களா Vishwa? So what are the educational achievement in India? We'll discuss one by one. So adult literacy rate when it increased. You can see what are the achievement after independence. You can see 91, 92, 2015. So the adult literacy rate, that percentage of okay, that is 15 between. So initially it was 61.9%, but now in 2015, 81% of the people they got what literated. Among that 81%, how many women and how many men? Okay, male, female. That is 37.9 and 65 of this 45.4 and 63%. Okay, so male compared to male, so compared to female, male literacy rate is very high. You can see male. This is female. 68.4 is male and 45.4 is female. 81 is male and 63 is female. The primary completion rate. Okay, this is adult literacy rate. Then primary, at least the people, those who have completed primary education. For male, how much? So this is male 78%, 85%, 94% for male, and from female 61, 69, and 99 in 2015. So everything is increase. So what I am explaining here, they are given here as a paragraph. Okay, so you can see primary completion rate, then youth literacy rate, then adult literacy rate. So whatever things we are discussing, it is mentioned in a table, scheduled yearly, clearly. So based upon this, they have explained. So adult literacy rate. Okay, so that is very high compared to men and women. So compared to women, men is very high. And primary completion means what? Compared to men, women are very high. That is 99%. And youth literacy rate that consists of 87% for female and 92% for male. Initially, it was 76.6 in 1990 and 54.2 in 1990. Any doubts, guys?
No.
So morning, you people wrote what exam? I think the topic government budget and what this money and banking. So evening we'll have one test. From which topic shall we go for one test? 20-mark test. Balance of payment. Is it okay?
Sir,
Yes.
sir, only for this month, only 3 chapters are there for revision, sir.
You
So
think
that
so?
we Yes, sir. Yesterday, sir, I have told, sir, but due to some network issue, I think so you didn't heard it, sir.
All right.